Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be doing video number 2, utilizing the vector pen tool in Illustrator. So to do that, you're going to go to crimsonart.net, this site here. Here we go. You know where it is. It's right here. Scroll down and you're going to find the vector pen tool exercise. Okay, it's an AI file, which means it's an Adobe Illustrator file. Click the download button and it should open up in Illustrator. Okay, and it looks something like this. When you open it up, you'll see the word vector. Now there's a couple things that we need to work with here, and once again, the zoom in and out key commands are command, if you're on the Mac, command minus is the zoom out, command plus is zoom in. You can also do that by holding on the space bar, command to zoom in, or space bar command option to zoom out. Alright, the space bar, if you hold down the space bar, allows you to move around the picture. Okay, this is a word that says vector currently. Alright, and what I'm going to do probably is change the size of this artboard so the whole thing fits. And I'll just resave it here for you so you don't have to do this step, but I'll just show you what it is. Here is the artboard on our toolbar in Illustrator. The artboard allows us to, well, it's basically does what its name says it is. It's an artboard, so it's basically our canvas size, okay? It's what we want to create our artwork on. So you can make it any size you want. There's some, you can plug in some dimensions up here, whether it be points or inches or, so a lot of different options for you that way. We're going to use this file to work with, our pen tool, and then we're going to jump right in. So here's the pen tool. If you kind of hover the cursor over the pen tool, you'll see that the name comes up, and if you hit P on the keyboard, your pen tool will come up, just like as in T, the type tool. If you hit the T on the keyboard, your type tool will come up too. So the pen tool, basically we learned from lesson 1, is a tool that allows us to drop anchor points and paths. Similar to the tool we used in Photoshop, these little dots are called anchor points, and the paths, the lines in between the anchor points are called paths. If you click the mouse button and hold and drag, these are called handles, okay? And that you can bend the handles and move the handles, and we'll get into that today too. So if you use the direct selection tool, the white arrow tool, you can alter and move the anchor points and handles, okay? And we'll be getting into that too when we start tracing over this word vector. The selection tool only allows you to grab certain large areas, okay? It doesn't let you kind of manipulate each handle, where the direct selection tool does, okay? So we're going to get rid of this shape that we've created, and let's get into it. Let's zoom in on the V. I'm only going to do the V and the C with you so that you can figure out the rest. And I just don't want to take too long in this video. I'm already in 3 minutes here. So basically we just need to do what it says. And I borrowed this from online. Some nice graphic designer was able to make this and put it online for our teachers like myself to use. So thank you very much, random stranger out there who made it for us. Number 1 is click to begin new path. So on the blue X's is where we want to drop our anchor point. The numbers with the circle numbers with the directions next to them are just the directions. We want to really focus on the X's. The X marks the spot, so to speak. Okay, so remember, when we drop a path, an anchor point, we're going to create a path, and it's going to create a stroke in between. The stroke is that line that we've talked about before. So when you connect a stroke together, we have a shape. Okay, a shape is basically lines, multiple lines that are enclosed to and then connect to enclosed space, which creates a shape essentially. Okay, so that's all we're going to be doing with these letters, is creating shapes, tracing these out. All right. So to begin, let's drop that anchor point. The number 2 says hold shift and click, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to go down to 3, click, click, space bar, so you get your handle, or so your hand there. Hold down shift again on the keyboard, Let's scroll down. Number 2, click. Sorry, number 6. Number 7 says hold shift and click, and we're going to go up to number 1 again, number 8, to end the point, okay? And we're going to complete the path. So you see a little circle that hovers next to the pen tool? That is a symbol for an enclosed shape. So let's close that up. Now we have a white V with a black stroke. We can tell that here by our color picker. We have a white color fill with a black stroke color. We can change the color fill if we like just by clicking on the box here, and we can make it any color we want. Or you could apply a gradient fill if you want. You can do a gradient. If you want to explore the gradients, you can. That's on a different lesson. If you want to change the stroke color, click on the stroke box and click here, and then you can change the stroke color if you'd like. Okay. If you want to make the stroke thicker, the stroke can be found in the window. If you can't see it in your palettes, stroke is already up apparently. I have it. It's just hidden somewhere, so I gotta find it. Looks like, oh, here it is. Yep. If we can pull this off, we can change the size of the stroke. Make sure it's selected though. You got to make sure that your stroke or the shape you just made is selected. Now you can tell that by the blue box that's around it by clicking on it with this selection tool. Let's increase the size of the stroke. Now we have a nice thick pink stroke on there. If you wanted to round the corners, you can do that by clicking on the rounded corner. If you have a cap on a stroke, if you use the paintbrush tool and the pen or the pencil, we'll get into more of those single stroke details, and you can put a cap on those if you'd like to. You can also change the uniform quality of the stroke. If you want more of a calligraphic line or a arced line, you can definitely kind of play around with that, and that serves purposes for just different illustrative designs you want to create, whether it be cartoons or anything of that nature. So let's move on and let's try the C. Hopefully I'm going to get this done in a couple minutes here for you, and you can try it yourself. So the C, a little tricky. We're going to start using the Option key on your keyboard along with the Shift key, and we really have to pay attention to the directions on this. So 21 says click to begin new path. Hold and drag upward. Okay, so what we want to do is click to begin new path. So whenever it says click, you want to hold the mouse button down. Okay, so click holding the mouse button, and I'm going to begin a new path. I'm going to drag and hold upward, and my handle is going to go here. Okay, and that's the green buttons, the little green dots are for your handles, the blue are for anchor points. Try to remember that. Okay, we're going to release. All right, fantastic. I got a magic mouse here that's kind of being funny. So hold shift and click drag downward for number 22. So we're going to hold shift first because that's what it says. Click and drag downward to 23. Release. All right. Now 24 says hold shift. Okay, hold shift. Click and drag downward. Now what shift is going to do is it's going to hold it to a perfect 90-degree angle. Think of like an X and Y axis. Or it could, it could be completely horizontal or completely vertical, but it's going to hold it to that angle. Okay, so 24 says we just did that one. So 25 is release there, so release it off the handle. 26, we are going to hold shift, click, drag upward, but listen here, we got some directions. We're going to keep holding everything, keep holding the mouse button, keep holding shift. Now we're going to click down option, hold down option, and option allows us to bend the handle over to a 90-degree. We're going to release it here, okay? Release shift and release option. Now we're going to click on it first. Click, hold shift and option and drag down to 29. You have to follow directions or it's not going to work very well for you. Now release. When it says release, we got to release the mouse first before we release the other buttons. So always release the mouse first. Okay, let's go over to 30. Hold shift and click. Drag a long way upward to 31. Okay. We're going to hold option now. We're going to keep holding, hold down option, drag down to 32, release everything, okay? Hold shift, click on the anchor point, drag upward to 33, release here. 34 says hold shift, click, drag downward to 35. Keep holding everything. we're going to hold down hold down Option, and bend that handle up to the closing point here at 36. Now we're going to release everything. All we finally have to do now is enclose our shape. So we're going to click on this final anchor point to finalize our C. Okay, that's essentially it. The O is very similar, and the R is similar too, because we were working with these curves. When we think about typography and creating type and different font types, typographers and graphic designers really use Illustrator in this way and the handles and all the key buttons on the keyboard, like Option and Shift, to create these perfect lines and angles and curves and things in the letters. So that's why it's important. That's why we're doing it. And it's just another skill to be had in Illustrator. So good luck. Call me over if you need a hand. All right. Good luck.